Let's talk a little bit about Google Apps. You know about Google Docs. That's what you use to make a text document. If you want to write a story or an article, uh, you're going to use a Google Doc. You can add a picture, change the font, put a chart in, but mostly it's for text, words. If you do want to make something more visual, where it has more graphics, images, illustrations, photographs, even multimedia components like videos or sound, you want to use Google Slides. But today, we're going to talk about Google Sheets. Google Sheets is a spreadsheet app. Now, a spreadsheet is just a fancy way, even though it doesn't sound that fancy, of putting data into columns and rows. Columns like A go up and down, vertical, and rows like 1 go side to side or horizontal. Now, if I am making a spreadsheet, the first thing I like to do is title it. And I'm actually going to show you how to use this spreadsheet to create a line graph that can track your math fact fluency and how it changes over time, how it increases over time, because everybody's getting better with their math facts. So I'm going to give it a title, something like, I don't know, math fact fluency. And now I'm going to put the data into the spreadsheet. Now, since I already know I'm going to use this to make a line graph, there's a particular way I want to put the data in the sheet. This first column, the A column, this is going to be what's called the y-axis. Y goes up and down. And when I make the line graph, you'll see more of what I mean. But this is going to be the amount of facts that I get right. So let's call this facts. Oops, what am I doing up there? Let's get here where I belong and call it facts correct. Now, this column is going to be the time. And by time, I mean the time period that we do our facts fluency assessments. Usually this is every month. And I'll call that months. So let's say our first assessment was in September, a little abbreviation, October, November, and December. So now you can see kind of what I mean by this column representing the time in months here. And now these are going to be the spaces. Each one of these little spaces is called a cell. These are going to be the cells that I input the actual amount of math facts that I got correct each month. So let's say in September, I got 60 right. And then I got 85 right in October. And I keep improving because, that's how I do. 100 right in November. And amazingly, I improved by a whole 30 facts in December. Now, right here, this is a very easy way to, with a quick glance, see that you are improving. Even before I turn this into a line graph, it's a good way to track how you're doing. But when you turn this into a line graph, it makes it visually so much easier to see if you're going up, if you're going down, if your math facts are kind of staying the same. So now let me show you how to do that. To turn this data into a line graph, the first thing I'm going to do, the easiest way to do it, is to highlight a box that contains all of the data that I want in my graph. Now, to do that, I'm just dragging. So I'll do it again. I'm going to click here in facts correct, and I'm not going to let go, and I'm going to drag the cursor until everything is highlighted. I really want to highlight all the data I have. Even facts correct and months, that's not exactly data. Those are going to be labels, but I still want to highlight it. You'll see why in just a moment. Now, I got my data. I'm going to go to this button right there. It says Insert Chart. A chart is just another name for a graph. I like to call them graphs. I can click that button with the cool picture, or I can go here to Insert. And then I find the same little button. And bam, there we go. The problem is this is not a line graph. It's a bar graph, or as Sheets calls it, a column chart. Now, we are showing how math fact fluency increases, hopefully, over time or changes over time. The best kind of graph to show how something changes over time is a line graph. So to change this into a line graph, I'm just going to go here to chart type and click the little arrow. I'm going to find line. Now, there are different kinds of line graphs. This is just a regular one. And again, it says line chart. I like graph better, so I'm going to say graph. You can make a smooth one. We don't really care about all that. I'm just going to go here and make a line graph. When I click it, bam, there it is. Now, because I put facts correct and the amount of facts I got every month correct here in the first column, the spreadsheet knew that that column is going to be the y-axis, and it puts that here on the left going up and down or vertically. And because I put the months in this second column, the B column, the spreadsheet knew that it should put this on the bottom. And check this out. It knew that because these top, these two words, or these words here, two words here, and one word here, were in the first row above this data, that it could put that together and make a title. Now, that's a bad title. Facts correct versus months. It's not like they're fighting. So I'm going to end up changing that title. But right here, we have a basic line graph. It shows how your math fact fluency is changing over time from month to month. Now, I am going to show you how to customize this just a little bit. And then when you make your own, you can toy around with it and make it fancy or extravagant, whatever you want. The first thing I'm going to do is go here to customize. So let's see, chart and axis titles. I said I didn't like this title, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to the title where it says facts correct versus months. And I'm just going to say, we'll say that these are multiplication facts. Multiplication fact fluency. And it's really cool that as I change things right here, it's happening immediately right here. Let's see, what else do I want to change over here? I want to change the legend. The legend is this. A legend in a graph is very useful if you have maybe more than one line, or if you have a more complicated graph. This is not very complicated. So I don't need this line to tell me that the blue line means facts correct. So I'm getting rid of it. Legend, it says on the right. I don't want it on the right. I don't want it at all. So none. Goodbye. And here, I have a line graph. Now, it's in the middle of my spreadsheet. I like to put my line graph on a different page. The way we do that, if you go ahead and click here on the three dots in Google stuff is a way to find more options. I click the three dots. Here's all kind of stuff I can do. Up here in my browser, I click the three dots. Here's all kind of stuff there. So the three dots just opens up more options. Let's see, edit, delete, save, move to own sheet. That's what I want to do. And when you click that, it makes a new sheet in your spreadsheet that is nothing but this line graph. I accidentally opened up that customization thing again. I can go here. Approaching free recording limit. Oh, well, I'm using a free screencasting program, and apparently I'm about out of time. Here's my data. There's my chart, and I'll walk around and help you. unless you're like at home or something.